is 5 Minute Friday, and I'm going to talk about how to move your family to Portugal, which is what I'm doing right now. Moving with my wife and my two little babies, a 2-year-old and a 4-month-old, to Portugal. And so for those of you that are curious, some of the details, like how does this all work, I'm going to share with you just some of the bits and pieces around how this happens. So we were flying there. We got all of our flights using airline miles from travel hacking. And then we're going to be staying in this little village town called Atouguia da Baleia, which is north of Lisbon. It's like a surf community. There's a lot of great surfing in Portugal, which I discovered. So, and Lisbon is a digital nomad hotspot. And I've heard of a lot of friends going to Portugal. Portugal's not super expensive compared to the rest of Europe. And so it seemed like a good potential location. Already a community of people that I know, a lot of co-working spaces, a lot of expats. There's some decent English spoken there. And again, so these are the things that I know before we get to the country. So I'll keep you up to date once we arrive and what's happening. And this will be the third year that we've left the United States to live abroad. First year we lived in Croatia and Hungary in Budapest. And then we lived in Bali, Indonesia. And this year we'll be living in Portugal and probably Romania and Morocco. So we've got some experience under our belt. And so as I record this, we're packing up our things to try to have as little luggage as possible, which is going to look like 4 large pieces of luggage, probably for a family of 4, including toys and books and things for the kids, business, the podcasting stuff, video materials. And I'm bringing a bicycle. I'm packing a bicycle into a case, and that's going to come with us too, so I can explore around in Portugal. So some of the considerations, a lot of times we'll show up to a country and try to find a house as quickly as possible. When we announced that we were moving to Portugal on our Facebook, some friends already realized that we were going to Portugal, and one of them happened to own an Airbnb property outside of Lisbon, and that's where we ended up arranging to stay. So that's going to save us several days. Usually we would spend 3, 4, 5 up to a week finding a place to rent for the months that we would be there, which is always kind of a pain. You're not able to do much else other than going around finding houses. So because we already have that under control, that's going to allow basically that week, instead of dealing with jet lag and trying to find a place to live, we'll just be able to rest more and spend time relaxing at the beach, perhaps. And so I expect that I'll be able to jump into productive work in terms of business a little bit sooner than normal. And because we have friends there, we are also able to have a couple connections. So we have the manager of the Airbnb was able to connect us with a driver that can pick us up from the airport. So that we've got that under control. We think we have access to a nanny who could free Heidi up for a little personal time throughout the week. So we've already got some childcare locked up. And then through Facebook groups, digital nomad Facebook groups, I was able to make some connections with folks that live in our village, some expats and digital nomads, that this is really funny. They said, "Oh, we've been expecting you," because of my friend whose house we're living in is connected with them. And that's Natalie Sisson, who's another podcaster. You guys may know who that is. A longtime digital nomad. We're staying in her place. So so the house is part of a community, and then we're going to be tapped into a community already when we arrive. And I plan to go to the local bike shop and see if there's any group rides, so I can build community through meeting cyclists, which is one way that I do that. I'll also be planning to play Ultimate Frisbee. There's a lot of Ultimate Frisbee happening in Lisbon, so I'll make the drive down there. It might be an hour to drive down to play beach Frisbee or pickup Frisbee. The Frisbee community is really good. You can, if you go to a pickup game, you can meet 25 people in one go. And then, of course, co-working spaces are great. So my plan is to go and do some workshops, some talks at these co-working spaces. And that's a really good opportunity for people to meet you and potential business opportunities, collaboration. So that is the plan as well, to give some speaking at these co-working spaces. So, and we'll be about 2 miles from the beach, and we'll have access to a car. So we'll probably be doing a little bit of surfing. There's good surfing there, taking our family to the beach, and just enjoying the warm weather after a long winter here in the States. So that's it's kind of off the top of my head, some of the considerations that it's going to take to move a family to Portugal. And as U.S. citizens, we have basically 3 months, 90 days that we can stay in Portugal. So that's what we're aiming for right now, is to stay there for 3 months. So hopefully you guys found that useful, found that helpful. If you did, I would love to hear from you on Instagram, or send me an email, derek@derekloudermilk.com. And that's all for today. Thanks for joining. Now go out there and be adventurous.